34188. Got to play this next record especially for Dave in Southend, who phoned us up last week. Thank you very much, Dave, for your phone call. It's nice to hear from you again. He wants Ray Magnum back. And he also wants this record from Hazel O'Connor.
You drink your coffee and I sip my tea, and we're sitting here playing so cool, thinking what will be will be. It's getting kind of late now. Oh, I wonder if you'll stay now, stay now, stay now, stay now. Or will you just politely say goodnight? I move a little closer to you, not knowing quite what to do, and I'm feeling all fingers and thumbs. I spill my tea, oh silly me. It's getting kind of late now. I wonder if you'll stay now, stay now, stay now, stay now. Or will you just politely say goodnight? And then we touch much too much. This moment has been waiting for a long, long time. Makes me shiver, makes me quiver. This moment I'm so unsure. This moment I've waited for. Is it something you've been waiting for? Waiting for too. Take up your eyes, bare your soul, gather me to you and make me whole. Tell me your secrets, sing me the song, sing it to me in the silent tone. It's getting kind of late now. I wonder if you'll stay now, stay now, stay now, stay now. Or will you just politely say goodnight?
Will You from Hazel O'Connor, especially for Dave in Southend who phoned us up last week. Nice to hear from you, Dave. Thanks for the phone call. And he wanted the record dedicated especially to Karen. So hello, Karen, from Dave in Southend.
Hit me! 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 Hit me!
Radio Atlantis, music for Kent.
Radio Atlantis back on the air, 103.7 on a Sunday evening. I'm getting very, very confused here. And if you joined us on the Wednesday evening broadcast that we did this week, thanks very much for joining us then, and thanks again for joining us now. And if you gave us a call and you're expecting your request or dedication coming up, well, it will be after 7:30. So sometime between 7:30 and 9 o'clock, we'll be calling your name. If you were listening to our broadcast on Wednesday evening, which was a test transmission, you'll realise that at about 9:10, our transmission ceased. Thanks very much for all the phone calls that we did receive. Very much appreciated. Right now, I'll say hello to Steve from Canvey Island, who would like to say hello to Dave at Southend. Now, Dave at Southend rang us as well, and he said hello to his wife, Karen, and also to Steve and Canvey Island. A record especially for you lot from Patty LaBelle and Karen. All of them scattered all over the place. Thanks very much for your phone calls last week. Very much appreciated. And that was Patty LaBelle, and she is stirring it up. And that was from Beverly Hills Cop, or the soundtrack of the same.
Now, we've been doing the rock classics at 8:30 on the Rock Show on Sunday evenings for, quite some time now. Now, the rock classics are going to continue, and they'll still be at 8:30, but funnily enough, on a different evening, on Wednesday evenings, because that's when Radio Atlantis is going to be broadcasting in future. This is the last Sunday night broadcast, unfortunately, but we may come back with the odd Sunday night broadcast, the odd special. We may even come back to Sunday nights if Wednesday evenings don't turn out to be very successful. But we done a test transmission last Wednesday, and the response was fairly good, so we're going to do Wednesday night transmissions for a while. And the rock classics will continue at 8:30 with myself, Steve Davis, because we come on the air at 8 o'clock and we go on until 10 o'clock. So make a date this Wednesday for Atlantis Wednesday night transmissions. Right in the middle of the week, straight after Coronation Street. We'll be there, 103.7. Here's the Lotus Eaters now, the first picture of you. Just about it for this evening. Hope you've enjoyed the last 2 hours. You've had Dave Johnson with the mixed bag between 7 and 8, and between 8 and 9 you've had The Rock Show. Now, between 8 and 9 on Wednesday evenings, it's not going to be a rock show, or not unless you ring up and say that you want the rock show returning. It will sort of be very rock orientated, but it'll be a mixed bag as well. But we'll still be doing the rock classics at 8:30, okay? So it's a sort of rock show, but if you want the rock show proper to continue, then you better give us a ring on Wednesday evening and say, yeah, I want the rock show to continue. And then between 9 and 10 on Wednesday evening will be Dave Johnson with the Mixed Bag programme. So don't forget to join us on Wednesday evening. We'll be back on the air between 8 and 10 for our first official Wednesday night transmission. And next Sunday we will not be here. No, we will not be here next Sunday. So don't try tuning in for us next Sunday. We won't be here. It's Wednesday nights from now on. From me, Steve Davis, I'll bid you a very good night. See you Wednesday night and have yourselves a good week. Well, up until Wednesday anyway. From everybody here on Atlantis, good night to you. Atlantis 103.7 is now closing down. Don't forget to join us Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock.
Address is Radio Atlantis, Post Office Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. Or give us a ring on Rye 226075. And that phone number's open throughout tonight's broadcast. Right, I must go. So I'll be in trouble. So from me, Nick Thomas, it's Pause and Beers, and I'll see you next month. Stay tuned to Atlantis on FM. Bye-bye.
sound of Radio Atlantis.
You're listening to the Johnnie Diamond Show on Atlantis Radio.
Radio Atlantis.
I've only just got into the studio. I've been down the side. We've got 7 minutes in front of 8 o'clock.
I get the same old dreams.
Rusty, you know, after all this time. We haven't been on since, when was it, December, wasn't
Yeah, in fact, I just said that because I was getting a bit tongue-tied.
Right.
And it takes a little while to get back into it again, but we've just got ourselves going again. Hope you didn't tune away when we went off the air for a few seconds there, but we've adjusted the aerial, and things are booming back in again, but we really hope that we're going to stay on the air tonight, don't we?
Yeah,
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, bye.
Leave it to it.
Thank you very much for the tea.
Okay.
There he goes. Yes, thank you very much. Slam of the door, and away goes. In just a second, we've got the brand new single that you're hearing for the first time on Atlantis by the Eurythmics. How about that then? But right now, we've got this.
Radio Atlantis.
Radio, let's go!
And he'd like a record for his brother Dave, who also lives in Essex, and it's his birthday tonight. Oh, and he wasn't sure how old his brother was, but he said he's younger than him. So hello to Dave, Steve's younger brother in Southend, and you'd like 2 records for him, either one or both. Well, we're going to treat you. We're going to play you both. It's the Radio North Sea International theme and the Caroline theme, especially for Dave in Southend. Exclusive boat trips to Laser Radio and Radio Caroline. See the amazing ships that the 2 stations broadcast from. Boat trips last all day and depart from East Kent. For more details of cost and dates available, ring now. Maidstone 77067. That's Maidstone 77067. Don't miss out. Ring now for your exclusive boat trip to Radio Caroline and Laser Hot Hits. That was especially for Dave in Southend on his birthday tonight, and that comes from your brother Steve in Canvey, and he wanted those 2 records especially for you. The R&I theme tune, one of the offshore stations from the 70s, and the Caroline theme tune, of course, Radio Caroline's theme. Who are they? It's Atlantis 103.7 megahertz FM. It's 15 and a half minutes or so before the hour of 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock, Dave Johnson will be coming along.
Have you ever wanted to visit the ships on the North Sea and see what really happens out there? Well, this is an opportunity that you must not miss. Exclusive boat trips to Laser Radio and Radio Caroline. And that's a trip not to be missed, I tell you. You're listening to Radio Atlantis on 103.7. Right, it's nearly time for Radio Atlantis to leave the airwaves yet for another week. Oh, it is a shame. But make sure you're with us at 8 o'clock next week. And we'll be reading out your requests and dedications then. So from Steve Davis, myself, Dave Johnson, and the rest of the team at Radio Atlantis, take very good care of yourselves. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Music, music, music. Radio Atlantis. Radio Atlantis. Radio Atlantis. Radio Atlantis.
Cool. And hello to Steve and Dave and somebody else. Caroline, I think it is. I'm trying to locate your record. In between every record, I'm nipping out to try and find your record as you wanted. Hence the out of breath is between the record. Never mind. 0622 77067. Maidstone 77067. Give us a call there right now.
Well, good morning.
All the excuses coming up there. Where have I heard those before? It's 11. No, it's not. I don't know what the time is. I don't really care what the time is. Right now, hello to Dave and Steve and his wife Karen, and they wanted a Shangri-La's record. Now it's Remember, which I played, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I thought I won't play that one again. So I hope this one will do for you.
Is she really going out with him?
From Dave to Stephen and his wife Karen, the Shangri-La's there, and the leader of the pack. Hope that one was all right. Hope you didn't mind me not playing the right one.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
Radio Atlantis.
Looking over Kempton, Sussex, this is the Johnnie Diamond Show.
Non-stop music.
Good evening, broadcasting on 105 megahertz in the FM band. You're in tune with Radio Atlantis. Sorry about that, bonking the microphone. Well, you can't say that we don't try, can you? Yes, we've been off the air and on the air, and we haven't done a proper broadcast for goodness knows how long, but we keep trying. And this is Atlantis. We're with you on a test broadcast tonight with some brand new equipment.
Atlantis, Atlantis, Atlantis.
Yes, this is Atlantis. I think you know it by now. Now, there's certain people that don't want us to be here, but rest assured, they will never take us away. Atlantis will always be back in one form or another. You've got Johnnie Diamond with you first off this evening. Coming up a little bit later, it'll be Nick Thomas. You can phone us right now all throughout tonight's test broadcast. We want to hear you. It's Rye 226075. Do it now. But I really hope it's going to be nice for Easter. Don't forget to tune in over the Easter period during Sunday evenings, because there's bound to be something on. You may have heard me last week on a station called Reel to Reel Radio. And hi to all the guys for that. And hi also to... won't mention his name, but he knows who he is, who runs the station, and hope you're listening tonight. Give us a ring, I'm sure you will, and thanks for inviting me on there. I should be back on Reel to Reel Radio in 2 to 3 weeks' time, so you can hear me on there. They broadcast Sunday evenings from up in Kent, a little bit further away, but have a tuner in around 105.3. Radio Atlantis is on the air, when we can get on the air, barring problems, as much as possible. You just tune in on Sunday night from 7 till 9. And our address, P.O. Box number 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. It's 15 minutes and a bit past 7 o'clock, but we won't be too accurate. This is Johnnie Diamond on Atlantis, and if Nick Thomas turns up, because God knows where he is, haven't seen him much tonight, he'll be on a little bit later.
Radio Atlantis is too much.
The Nick Thomas Show on Atlantis, 105 megahertz FM. The quality of rock music, the power behind the station. Radio Atlantis, 105.
Yes, good evening and welcome to the Nick Thomas Show. Thanks very much to Johnnie Diamond. Yeah, not a bad show from him for a change. Yes, Nick Thomas through until close down tonight. And we've got lots of good music for you, so stay tuned, won't you? And we were also picked up in Essex, believe it or not. And that was Dave Bullock, who picked us up with a very faint signal, but I'm not surprised. So if you listen tonight, Dave, give us a ring, won't you? You know the number? Yes, I'm sure you do. It's Rye 226075. That's White Snake, and we've got to close down. It's great to be back on the radio. It's Nick Thomas signing off. Sorry we've got to close down so early this evening, which due to circumstances beyond our control. I'm sorry we've got to close down.
Atlantis.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for tuning to our test transmission, and please give us a ring if you're picking us up. The number to call is Rye 226075, and that number's open until 8 o'clock tonight. The address is coming up after this. Okay, just time to tell you that if you retune your radio up just a little bit to 105.3, you'll be able to hear reel-to-reel radio.
Atlantis.
Hopefully. Radio Atlantis is now closing down. Stand by for our address and then we're going off the air. We'll be back. We'll be back next month. Don't worry about it.
You're listening to Radio Atlantis in the FM band. If you'd like to know more about us, you can write to us at Post Office Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. That's Radio Atlantis, Post Office Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk.
Radio Atlantis. Radio Atlantis.
Atlantis, Atlantis, Atlantis.
Yes, good evening everyone. This is Radio Atlantis on 105 megahertz FM. Good evening to you and welcome to our broadcast. Starting off proceedings tonight, we got the new single from the Fine Young Cannibals. And if you just tuned in and wonder what this station is, it's a new free radio station for this area, Radio Atlantis on 105 megahertz FM. So, if you hadn't heard us before, I hope you're going to stay tuned tonight and listen to some good music, and I'll explain a bit more about the station as we go along.
You're listening to Nick Thomas.
Yes, indeed you are, and it's Radio Atlantis on 105 FM, and as I say, if you haven't heard us before, well, that's because it's the first time we've broadcast to this particular area. We've been broadcasting to mainly Sussex and parts of Kent, but now we're broadcasting to the whole of Kent and parts of East Sussex, so I hope you can stay tuned tonight. We're on the air through until 9 o'clock. It's now 10 minutes past 7 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock tonight, it's someone you probably know, and that's Coolie. He's coming on to take the hot seat. So, as I say, I'll be telling you more about Radio Atlantis as we go through the broadcast tonight. We're a free radio station broadcasting to Kent and East Sussex, and I'm Nick Thomas. Good evening to you. Right, it's 28 minutes, or near enough, past 7 o'clock. Don't forget Coolie coming up at 8 o'clock tonight. As I was trying to say before that record started, that the phone line's opening at 8 o'clock tonight. So if you'd like to ring us here at Radio Atlantis and put yourself in a request for our next broadcast, or even just tell us what the signal's like and what we're coming in like, we'd love to know. You can give us a ring tonight at 8 o'clock, okay? Now let's see what we have here. Yes, it's Gary Newman with Radio Heart. I'll be reading out the phone calls from our last broadcast after this record, so if you phoned us on the last broadcast, stay tuned. I'll be saying hello to you next. Here's Gary Newman. Okay, that's Gary Newman there with one called Radio Heart. And here the Talking Heads have got a new one out called Radio Head. All very good names for radio stations, of course. I think the best one I ever heard was Radio Diarrhea, the longest running station. How about that then? Okay, one or two people to say hello to now who phoned us up on our last broadcast. Now, our last broadcast was, about 3 weeks ago now, I think, and we had quite a few phone calls, one or two from Ashford, some from Eastbourne, and even one from Southend. How about that? So, I've got
Got to say hello to Steve from Reel to Reel Radio. That's another broadcasting station. And he said we were coming in well in Ashford, booming in. He said we were 3 out of 5, which is quite good, we thought. Now, hello to Tony, who phoned us from Ashford as well. He said we were 2 out of 5, but it was good reception. So, hello to you, Tony. If you're listening tonight, give us a ring. The phone number coming up at 8 o'clock tonight. That's when the phone line opens, and that's when Coolie comes along. Right, now, Dave Bullock phoned us from Southend in Essex, and he said it was good reception there, which is very good indeed, because we were broadcasting last time, yes, from Sussex, so it came in quite well, I think. Tonight we're broadcasting a little bit further, up into Kent, in fact, but I hope you're hearing us tonight, Dave Bullock, and we've got a request for you coming up a bit later on. Now, it's a big hello to Matthew. I haven't said hello to Matthew yet. If you're listening tonight, Matt, in Eastbourne, give us a ring, please. We need to know you're listening. You said we were coming in well last time. Well, that's good to hear too.
That's Radio Atlantis, Post Office Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk.
Don't worry, that wasn't the aerial blowing down. It was the noise of the sea. Well, it's 2 minutes to 8 o'clock and it's time for me to go. It is so windy tonight, you wouldn't believe it. It's not very pleasant for us. Anyway, stay tuned, won't you? We're on the air, hopefully, through until 9 o'clock if the aerial doesn't blow down. And it's Coolie coming up in just a couple of minutes' time. Well, I've enjoyed myself tonight. I'm Nick Thomas, of course, and next time we're on the air, you should hear a familiar voice, and that's Johnnie Diamond. He'll be back with us. Our next broadcast should be, I think it's sometime this month. I'm not quite sure myself yet. We haven't worked it out. What we've got to do is listen out on Sunday nights at 7 p.m, and then you'll probably hear us. That's Radio Atlantis on 105 FM. Right, don't forget the phone line is opening in a couple of minutes' time. Coolie will be giving out the number, so please give us a ring, won't you? Got to say hello to Johnnie Diamond. Good evening to you. So, look forward to having you on the next broadcast. And one more person I forgot to mention who rang us last time. That was Mick in Eastbourne. He said it was good reception last time. I don't know if you can hear us tonight, Mick. We're miles and miles away from Eastbourne tonight. But if there is anyone listening to us in Eastbourne, please give us a ring, won't you? OK, Nick Thomas saying cheers and beers. I'll catch you next time. Stand by for Coolie.
On 105 FM, this is Radio Atlantis. The time is 8 o'clock.
Radio Atlantis is too much.
Good evening, welcome along to the Coolie Show. If you'd like to give us a call tonight, the number is Ashford 21950. That's 0233 21950. Right now, starting off with the Rainmakers and Let My People Go Go. It's coming up to 9 o'clock, I think. Not quite sure. The Radio Atlantis clock is not quite what it used to be. Right, time for this, and you know what it means when I play this, don't you? It's time has come once again for Radio Atlantis to close down from 105 megahertz. We hope you've enjoyed our programme this evening and continue to listen for Radio Atlantis. All you've got to do every Sunday, but about 7 o'clock, is tune your radio around between about 105 and 106 on the FM band. And you might find Radio Atlantis or one of the other free radio stations doing the business over Kent and East Sussex too. If you'd like to write to Radio Atlantis for any reason at all, please feel free. The address is P.O. Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. That'd address once again is P.O. Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. All Radio Atlantis programmes are produced with the very best possible technical standards, and we hope you've enjoyed them. So from me and from Nick Thomas this week, I wish you a very good night. Don't forget, keep tuning around every week between 7 and 9, between 105 and 106. You never know what might pop up. Just before I go, let me say a very good evening to the young man that I saw in the garage today. I don't know what his name was, but he's certainly well up on free radio. So keep listening, won't you? Radio Atlantis will be back soon.
Casting for about 5 years now to the, well, let's say the Sussex part of Britain, and now we've moved a little bit up into Kent, you see, and he picked us up last time thinking we were the other Radio Atlantis, but we're not. There is Radio Atlantis North, which was broadcasting on Wednesday nights, but unfortunately they're off the air at the moment due to technical problems, but they hope to be back sometime in the future. Okay, so I hope I've cleared that little point up there. I'm not sure. Next one's for Bob Chapman in Canberra, and play it for Mandy as well. I hope you like this one, Bob.
It's about 9:30, and we've got to close down now, so we've had to cut that one short. Sorry about that, Jamie, but I promise you, next time we're on the air, we'll play a decent AC/DC track that sounds good, all right? Okay, for the last couple of hours, you've been listening to Radio Atlantis on 105 FM, and if you'd like to write to us, it's Post Office Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. Okay, Radio Atlantis on 105 FM, and it's Nick Thomas in the hot seat. The number to call is Rye 226075. We need your support tonight, otherwise this could be our final broadcast. Just tell us you're listening, that's all we need to know, and then you'll hear us again next month. That's sometime in August, all right?
Radio Atlantis. Here's an important announcement. For Radio Atlantis to continue broadcasting, we need your support. A simple phone call will let us know that you're out there listening. So if you want us to stay, call now. You're listening to Radio Atlantis in the FM band. If you'd like to know more about us, you can write to us at Post Office Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. That's Radio Atlantis, Post Office Box 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk.
Atlantis, 105 megahertz, FM. The quality of rock music, the power behind the station. Radio Atlantis, 105.
Yes, indeed. Ian, Nick Thomas with you. No signs of Johnny Diamond yet, but there's still chance, you know. I haven't given that hope yet.
The Atlantis Roadshow.
Yes, indeed. The Atlantis Roadshow appearing tonight at the White Horse in Cranbrook. So after the broadcast, why not trot along to the White Horse in Cranbrook, where the Atlantis Roadshow is playing.
Music. On 105 FM.
Non-stop music.
Right, thanks very much, Nick. And this is my new theme tune. In fact, it could be the new one. It could be the first and the last, couldn't it? If you don't all ring us up tonight. And those of you who used to listen to a station called Radio Mi Amigo will know it as the theme tune. And the bang of the door in the background was Nick Thomas, and he's gone. And thanks very much for an excellent show there. He thought I wasn't going to turn up, but I was going to turn up all the time. I was just pulling his leg. I wouldn't miss the final show. But we hope it's not going to be. So please, very important that you give us a ring tonight, as Nick has already said. And of course the number you can do it on, it's Rye 226075. I'm sure you've heard that before, but make sure you do give us a ring tonight. Rye 226075. Hi, it's Johnny Diamond with you for the next hour and a bit, as Nick has given me a bit of extra time. He got in such a mess at the end of his show that he just had to give up, I think. Never mind, we'll get back to sanity. Johnny Diamond with you till 9 tonight. Right, on with music in a moment. There's a lot of distractions in the background. Nick Thomas is coming back again. What are you doing now?
Messing about with the equipment.
Right, he's messing about with his equipment. I think I'll send my new fiancée Zara out to also adjust his equipment so I can get on with the show in peace. Right, but enough fooling around. We've got a few people to say hello to later on this evening. What a terrible night and terrible day it's been weather-wise, hasn't it? That's beautiful weather we had last weekend and the week before that, and it steadily got worse during the week. So no sunbathing tonight on the hillside where we are. Yes, we're getting a little bit wet as usual. Right, and an appropriate record for tomorrow, I think, coming up in seconds from now.
Radio Atlantis, music for Kent.
Okay, it's coming up to 3 minutes before 9 o'clock now. That's your lot from Radio Atlantis for tonight, and maybe, who knows, forever. Radio Atlantis broadcast once a month on 105 megahertz in the FM band with DJs Nick Thomas and myself, Johnny Diamond. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast tonight, and you'll join us again if we can return in August on 105 FM. Right, so from Nick Thomas and myself, Johnny Diamond, it's buys, cheers and beers, as Nick would say, and you must ring us, okay? Ride 226075. This is Atlantis, the best in music for Kent and Sussex. We're now closing down. Have a good evening. Please ring us or write to us, PO Box number 5, Hunstanton in Norfolk. Johnny says bye!